Today's episode is sponsored by Squarespace, the all-in-one platform to build a beautiful online presence. Get 10% off your first purchase with the offer code DESIGNDOC. In our first Kart Racers episode, we covered what makes the big-name traditional kart racers so good. But there's so much more going on in kart racing besides Mario and Diddy. Let's get experimental. There are a bunch of smaller games that take an unconventional approach to the fundamentals of the kart racer: driving mechanics, items, and track design. We have 5 games to talk about with 5 different twists on the genre. So let's get into it. Oh hey, great timing. We have a brand new game to talk about. Team Sonic Racing is the third Sonic kart racer developed by Sumo Digital. And it's not just a sequel to All-Stars Racing and All-Stars Racing Transformed. You won't find Jet Set Radio, Knights, The Football Manager, or Danica Patrick here. You won't find planes or boats either. But in its place, you have team racing. You team up with, well, a team of racers, and get points based on how well you all collectively do. Team racing modes aren't completely new. They've appeared before in the Mario Kart series and in Crash Nitro Kart. Only a few of these team modes add any special new mechanics for team-based gameplay. Some of them might turn off friendly fire, but otherwise it's no different than a normal Grand Prix mode. You just add up team points together at the end. There's so much more you can do mechanically with team racing. Crash Nitro Kart started down that road. It had a special team meter that builds up when you and your partner are close to each other. When the bar is full, you can activate Frenzy mode, which lets you rapid fire unlimited items at your opponents for a short time. Mario Kart Double Dash also dabbled in cooperative gameplay, with 2 characters to a kart and a little bit of co-op thrown in where one player drives and the other uses items. But compared to Team Sonic Racing, that's nothing! Team Sonic Racing has team gameplay seeping into its very core. Its basic driving mechanics are very traditional. You have drifting, mini-turbos, tricks, power-ups, the usual. But it adds a layer of teamwork to its boost, item, and comeback mechanics. In addition to standard boosting items and drifting mini-turbos, the new slingshot and skim boost mechanics are new ways to gain speed boosts, and they both need a teammate to perform. The slingshot mechanic replaces traditional drafting. Whoever is leading your team will leave behind a glowing trail. If anyone on your team drives over it, they build up a boost that will activate as they leave the trail. If you're ahead of all of your teammates, you have to think harder about your own racing line. Putting down a steady line for your teammates to follow does wonders for helping them catch up. The other new ability is the skim boost. If a teammate that's ahead of you gets hit with an item or is driving slowly, if you brush right by them, they will jolt forward. The faster you pass them, the greater the boost. It can be a lifesaver, working as a counter to some of the game's revamped items. They're all more devastating than they were in All-Stars Transformed, stopping your car completely if you're hit. If your team is close behind you, the skim boost can get you right back into the race. The item system is more team-focused too. Teammates can transfer items between each other by either offering or requesting them. You don't hand teammates your items exactly, but you do give them a roulette with a better item pool. They might get a trio of basic items, or the more powerful items that are normally exclusive to certain character types, like the fire trail for speed characters, blinding music notes for technique characters, or defensive spikes, a long-range laser, or the item-sucking void for power characters. The item swapping and new boost methods give plenty of reason to work with your team. But all that teamwork also feeds into a shared meter that lets your team use TSR's biggest comeback mechanic, the Team Ultimate. Everyone essentially gets a Mario Kart star all at once, boosting your speed and acceleration and making your kart invincible. If all 3 team members activate it at the same time, it'll last even longer. So teamwork and coordination would be great, but there's no good communication tool or voice chat in this game. So good luck trying to activate your team ultimates in sync. Whoops. Minor issues aside, succeeding as a team feels great in TSR. The mechanical changes that were added to support the team aspect add a whole new layer to the game's item system, driving mechanics, and even how you attack the track with racing lines. It's a great example of rebuilding a game from the ground up on a new style of play. While we're still on the topic of kart racers with team in the name, I think I have to mention Crash. Not Crash Team Racing, Crash Tag Team Racing. As the third game in the series, it completely deviates from the design of Crash Team Racing and Crash Nitro Kart, and instead takes a questionable approach to the Double Dash idea of having two characters on one kart. Crash Tag Team Racing's defining feature is the clash mechanic. It allows you to merge your kart with one of your opponents. When you clash, your car turns into a turret that you control while your new teammate handles all the driving. You might think to yourself, well, if I can just attach myself to any opponent's car, could I just let them drive and win without having to do anything? Yes. You can literally attach your car as long as you want and hop off right before the finish line. To make things even easier, you boost forward for free when you hop off, so it's really easy to just steal the win. Every time. Clashing is one of the most poorly thought out and easy to exploit mechanics that I've seen. In any game, not just kart racing. It's so fundamentally broken that I'm surprised it wasn't weeded out in playtesting. There's nothing the driver can do to get rid of you. While the turret does have limited ammo, you can easily replenish it by just hopping off and hopping back onto the same driver. Your turret is more powerful than any of the traditional items, so just blow up anyone challenging you for first place and take the win for yourself. Clashing was the big hook of this game. The rest of it seems pretty phoned in. The core mechanics are bare bones. I mean, you can't even drift in this game. The items are basic, the courses are pretty much circles, there aren't many hazards, and the track designs and themes blend together. There's a 3D platformer in here too, but it's just as half-baked as the driving. Crash Tag Team Racing is an example of building around a core mechanic poorly. Next up, what if you wanted to make a kart racer with the simplest possible controls? How far could you go? To answer that question, Masahiro Sakurai created Kirby Air Ride, and he says the answer is one button only. One joystick for steering, one for the camera, and one single button for everything else. Braking, charging, sliding, activating track features like zippers, Kirby's inhale and copy abilities, they all use that same button. So what else has to change to make it work? Air Ride doesn't handle like most other kart racers. You accelerate automatically and press A to brake. Braking lets you drift around corners and builds up a mini turbo-like charge that gives you a boost when you've stopped drifting. Classic Kirby enemies are running around each track and take the place of items. Tap the A button when you're close to one, and Kirby will inhale and copy them. Some of the abilities are passives, while others can be activated with, you guessed it, a tap of the A button. There's a surprising amount of depth that you can squeeze just out of that one button, and the context-sensitive actions make a game that seems like it should be very simple, surprisingly tough to master. There's even more depth in the game's vehicle design. Each vehicle, or ride as they're called, plays around with the context-sensitive options in weird ways. The Wagon Star has good acceleration and handling, but it can't charge boost when you brake. The Swerve Star has great top speed, acceleration, and it stops on a dime, but it can only turn while braking or in the air. It's really bizarre to control. Most of the other rides have more of these types of quirks that play with the fundamental mechanics. There's a ride for constantly gliding, there's a ride for keeping your momentum up, there's even one with a supercharged boost that takes forever to charge up. Kirby Air Ride's context-sensitive actions make for a game that is uncomplicated on its face, but deep and surprising as you get familiar with its new approach to driving mechanics. It proves that you can do a lot with just a few resources. Here's something I've wanted to talk about for a long time. Snowboard Kids 1 and 2 are amazing. Two of the most underrated and overlooked games in the N64 library. That's not even nostalgia talking. They still hold up well today. They're super charming, and they just so happen to be a very unique take on the genre. No, they're not driving karts, but they're absolutely kart racers. The driving is based around snowboarding physics, which changes the game's handling immensely. You don't accelerate by just holding down the gas button. You have to work with the mountain to go fast, shifting your character's weight and taking a line that keeps your speed high. Take a turn wrong and you might end up sideways, lose your momentum, and sit there watching everyone else pass you. Get hit with an item or lose your edge and you'll have to hop around to get back up to speed. I love the quirky way that Snowboard Kids handles laps. In most snowboard racing games, you're just racing down the mountain. In Snowboard Kids though, you're racing laps on the mountain. Instead of speeding through the finish line and being done with the race, you have to ride a ski lift to get back up to the top for the next lap. And you have to maneuver into the lift line yourself. It turns into a frantic positioning puzzle to grab an open ski chair. Do it wrong and you'll crash into the turnstile and give someone behind you a chance to cut in line. The courses are still long enough that you'll still have time to catch up even if you've had some bad luck. Still, it's a fun way to add laps while fitting perfectly with the snowboard theme. Snowboard Kids' item system is just as fun. Item boxes are divided into two categories, red and blue, each with their own item set. Do tricks or pick up coins lying on the course to earn money that you can trade in for items. Just make sure you can pay, or else.
Not enough.
Red items are projectiles, a hand to knock people over, a snowman that takes away steering, explosives, ice shards, and my personal favorite, the parachute. If someone gets hit, they'll drift slowly back down to the track, or time it right before a jump, and they'll slowly drift into a pit. Perfect. Blue items are a little more defensive and specialized. Rocks to trip people behind you, pans to squash everyone, kind of like Mario Kart's lightning, fans to boost your momentum, ghosts to slow down your competition, and more. The items were a fresher take on the usual missiles and speed boost affair. They have purposes that are easy to decipher, and are varied and situational enough to make them fun to use strategically. The splitting of the item boxes into two different sets adds an extra layer of strategy to picking up items. The item shop coins even feed back into the unlock system to add a little more spice to the game's progression and make the whole game feel more cohesive. Snowboard Kids 2 is mostly a refinement of the first, but it did add some nice quality of life improvements. It had a light story mode with tons of unlockables, like this sick poverty board, a deeper trick system that lets you perform multiple flips, spins, and grabs, and the ability to parry and reflect incoming projectiles with a quick grab at the right time. It's hard to pull off, but it's super satisfying when it works. The Snowboard Kids series is one of my favorite kart racers. It wasn't as polished as Mario Kart, but there's so much heart here. The way it changes mechanics to fit the theme, and the overhaul of its item box system makes it worth studying. Its charm, inventive courses, and amazing music makes these still worth playing. And then there's the DS game. We don't talk about the DS game. Atlas, Persona 5, shredding on warning. Make it play like Snowboard Kids. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. So as Snowboard Kids and Kirby Air Ride show us, you don't need to drive a kart for a game to be a kart racer. If it's some kind of racing game and you have items, that's close enough in my book. Games can draw inspiration from other genres too, like how 2013 Speedrunners mixes in platforming concepts to get something unique, but still recognizable as a game inspired by kart racers. It's not the only racing game to dabble in platforming. Sonic Rivals, Rascals, heck, even Iggy's Wreckin' Balls had some similar ideas. But Speedrunners is a well-polished extension of the platform racer. In Speedrunners, you are pitted against 3 opponents. Everyone shares the same screen and races around a circuit. You'll jump, wall jump, slide, grapple, boost, and use power-ups to sabotage your opponents. Keeping up your momentum is very important. Swinging, sliding up, or sliding under walls can push you way ahead of your competition, if you know what you're doing. The platforming bits aren't the only change from the traditional kart racing formula either. Instead of a lap-based race, you're competing over short bursts on the same circuit. You run, avoid obstacles, and sabotage each other with items to get ahead of the pack. As soon as one player falls behind the leader by enough to fall out of the frame, they're out, and the screen closes in on the remaining players. Eliminate all of your opponents to win a round, do that 3 times, and you've won. There's a natural balance, where players leading the pack are closer to the leading edge of the screen and have less time to react to the upcoming obstacles. The game has items, and they are useful, but they're not guaranteed to win the match. Skilled opponents can avoid them. Without the rigid start and end points of a traditional circuit, races can be more condensed, more intense, and more unpredictable. The elimination structure helps keep things moving, but also keeps the stakes high enough to make the game incredibly exciting, especially when playing on the couch with your friends, just as much as traditional kart racers. Speedrunners might not look like a kart racer, but the spirit is there. Kart racers are so much more than Mario Kart. It's been the gold standard of great kart racing for so long that it's easy to overlook the hard work happening in the genre around the edges. Team Sonic Racing, Snowboard Kids, Speedrunners, and Kirby Air Ride all show new facets of what future kart racers can be. And even Crash Tag Team Racing serves as a cautionary tale. Kart racers may seem like a genre set in stone, but there's plenty of variety if you know where to look.
If you're looking to make a website, check out today's sponsor, Squarespace. We've built a few websites over the years, and in our experience, Squarespace is by far the easiest way to get a killer-looking website up and running extremely quickly. They're a one-stop shop with domain registration, easy drag-and-drop tools, no plugins necessary, and great traffic monitoring tools so you can watch all those sweet page views roll in. Go to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, head to squarespace.com/designdoc and use offer code DESIGNDOC to save 10% off of your first purchase of a website or domain.